Druid. When you get like, well, I guess he didn't get wild growth till later on, but he had the innervate, he had the coin, he had a good curve, and just too much pressure. Whereas Alon had good cards, but they were all high mana. He had like 3 turns where he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, initiative in fact, the high-level players, all they want to do in Jupiter is debate out hero cards. That way they're hurt. In this case, we see Warrior being queued up, and I'm not sure if Warrior is the answer to Druid.
Oh, it can be hard. Like, you can beat Druid with it.
Now, this is something
Yeah, it's tough. Now, wild growth and an innervate in hand, 4-card. What do you like to keep here? Do you like to keep both?
Yeah, I keep both.
No, me
yeah,
too.
Why not, right?
I like to be extra.
Welcome back, everybody, here to game number 2 of our best of 3 quarterfinal. Number 2, we have Tunisia going up against Team Finland. Team Finland, 1 game up, Durka, so far.
Yeah, they played really aggressively as 4 heroes while Medusa sat around, farmed, blinked from jungle camp to jungle camp, went to Ancients, went to lane, was all across the map, ended up with, what was it, 870 GPM in a 40-minute game?
It was pretty big. It was pretty big. That's all I'm going to say about the matter. Sometimes it can be too big, and that was possibly too big.
Tunisia tried to play far too greedy up against a hero that loves greed.
Yeah. It was the perfect last year. Like, I was trying to berate the boys from Finland on the stage at in the break time. Just like, why you dislike fun? At the same time, it was the real correct hero to pick. Like, it was the real right hero to pick. Like, if they didn't pick that hero, then like there was 5 out of a million heroes you could potentially pick up if there was only that many heroes inside the game. But it really just fit their draft perfectly. They knew they'd have space, the lich pickup was there, and it was the perfect way to just exploit the greed from Tunisia. So game number 2 is a whole fresh slate as far as the draft goes. So Brewmaster as well as the Death Prophet we banned out. We'll have Skywrath Mage also being removed in the early stages by Durax. Where do we go from here? Do we take out the Ogre as well and just focus on these heroes? Let the Razor get through the pool for the first time in a while?
Razor's been in there for a long time. He only ever gets banned out really in the second phase. I think we've seen him banned out once or twice in the first phase. We're always seeing Death Prophet
Up against
Brewmaster.
Newbie, he was banned in the first 2 every time, though. Like, maybe those... Yeah, there you go. There's the Razor being banned out by Durax. I think he's been banned out in the first 2 phases most of the time. I know he slipped through into the second set, like, every now and then. It's probably just a little bit more team-specific.
Yeah.
He's just such a good laner. You don't want to go up against that. Forces you into a certain type of play up against him. Okay, we get Ogre Magi picked up here for Tunisia, and then the Ants are back. They really just seem like the Vibrantly seems to be the hero of the tournament. The Earthshaker, however, it's the first time I get to cast him on the main stage. He's been banned a couple of times, but it's the first time I get to cast him.
I think Tunisia played him last night, I can't quite remember, but now Tunisia get the Ogre once again. Wasn't so great last game, but there was nothing really he could do.
Yeah.
He was on the lane with a Viper where the Centaur was finding little nooks and crannies to hide in. There was no way to block him in that lane and get a kill on him until, 3 or 4 minutes in. But by then, he already had his boots. He was pretty happy with how things were going, nearly level 6.
No. It's when you get momentum on an Ogre Magi, it's wonderful. If you don't get momentum on him, it's really bad. And we actually get a Bat Rider as well. So the second time we'll get to see him up on the main stage today was a great initiating Bat Rider from Newbie earlier today. As far as this game goes, the initiation is going to be nice, but getting away with him, that's going to be a whole different kettle of fish. You got slows from Viper, you got potential Fissure stuns. Obviously, Firefly is a great thing up against the rock wall because it will allow you to escape if you are going to try and run him on that off lane. So a Fissure control won't be enough from Finland. But this is one of those times when I'd always like to see that Earthshaker, the very old classic IG lineup for this, which was Earthshaker, Windrunner, as well as, I think they actually ran Kotl in that lineup as well, and it was just never-ending stun spam. But the other one was you could actually switch the Kotl out for a Mirana, and it would be very, very aggressive in an aggro try. But that's me holding on to old beautiful things.
Yeah, that was like a Dota 1 lineup where you had ES Windrunner on the off lane, basically.
It was G-League 2013, I believe it was, is when it was run last. In Dota 2, it was actually run. That was the aggro trial lane from IG. That was when, though, like, they couldn't be beaten.
Unstoppable
They
force.
literally could not be beaten. I think it was that tournament. Yeah. I remember it was a big Chinese tournament at the time when they were doing that. Yeah.
A lot of these teams seem really afraid of that ancient apparition, simply because they love playing aggressively and jumping on one hero to try and focus them down. And we saw newbie pick up heroes like Disruptor to sort of play around that. Then they picked up AA themselves in a game.
It's also a nice way to control up Blink Dagger heroes, which there's been a fair amount of them as well, because it keeps that Blink Dagger on cooldown. Like that's kind of like more of a problem. Like when you hit it, it's just like, oh crap, now there's no blinking anywhere across the map.
It can open up situations where you don't have kill potential, then you hit the Ice Blast and you realize, okay, I can take them down to 10%, 11%, and that's enough.
Yep. If you had that combination as well. But then again, if you have like an Earthshaker and an Ancient Apparition together, that's just a boom team fight. It's a little bit poorer as far as the lane rotation ganking goes, though. And that's kind of like the downside about the Ancient Apparition. You need to have your core do a large amount of control work to make that really happen nicely. Wisp and VS we banned out up against Team Finland. So no roaming with the gank with the VS, and there's no Wisp tiny combination to come up from Team Finland. But that means only one last ban from Team Finland up against Tunisia. They can't ban out any of the cores unless there's someone which they don't like going up against the Viper, but they already took out the Razor. So that was also the reason why they wanted to ban the Razor, so they could pick up that Viper. And they take out the Enigma. So a little unusual ban, primarily because you have an Earthshaker, and now you also get a Witch Doctor. So the chance of getting like a full duration Black Hole off is low, but it does then flag the fact that Finland won't have a lineup which wants to go aggressively into the dire jungle. That's what that ban would flag for me.
Yeah, I think it's more of a meta ban as well, because you don't know what Tunisia are going to pick. Their draft is completely open, so that's why they're sitting there thinking we could ban this or this or this. The multitude of bans they could go for. Going with Enigma is a safe option. He's hard to shut down in the dire jungle. He's very quick at farming, but also the fact that they've got lots of choke points to move around into on the dire side. And Finland love playing aggressively, smoking up, going up the ramps. It could be a bit dangerous for them.
I'm guessing the HyperX girls at the very back of the stage have become a little bit more popular during this time. All the Tekken tournament people walk out. It's like,
HyperX.
Let's just stop over there. Shout out to all the sponsors as well for being here. Should probably pimp them a little bit more, but you got the banners. You can see them all there. So for now, Witch Doctor Earthshaker Viper. I am seeing will it be?
Were you thinking aggro?
I'm thinking Faces Void offlane, Witch Doctor Earthshaker safe lane, and then just any kind of DPS hero that can attack into the Chronosphere. That for me would be the powerhouse. The Rubik pickup will be there. It's actually kind of a bit of a bad thing for a Rubik to play in this game, apart from like going up against a Viper, because it's Viper Strike every time. But you can't steal Witch Doctor's Death Ward. Primarily because Witch Doctor's capable of just spamming his Voodoo Restoration, which will then be what Rubik would steal. And he doesn't actually cancel his Death Ward to do so. So it's not as great a steal for Rubik. You should be focusing more on the Viper and the Earthshaker. And then you get like a Slark come in from Team Finland.
I've been waiting all tournament for this hero to pop up. Like seriously, every game is like, they could pick Slark. I keep seeing it in all of these games. I've not seen it once this tournament.
It shuts down the Chrono potential though, because that cripples Slark. That really does cripple Slark, unless he plays around the Chrono, but you don't really want to be doing that. So they pick up the Slark, they've got the Viper. What else do you really want in this one, apart from a nice initiator? The Slark is that because you can go like early Blink Dagger on the puck, which means you're going to get on the Slark, which means you get a guaranteed like leash in. You could potentially, you kind of want an offlaner as your last one. There's no reason to go aggro tri-lane with an Earthshaker and a Witch Doctor. That makes no sense. But your Slark can run safe lane, free farming Blink Dagger, and then switch an offlaner off. Centaur's still in the pool, Clockwork's still in the pool. Got a lot of options there. And if you really want, you could even run dual lanes and just run the Earthshaker as a babysitter.
That's what I'm wondering as well. I think dual lanes could work really well here. Witch Doctor and Slark on the bot lane.
It's problematic for the Slark when you look at it. I think it's actually more problematic for Finland is gold. Because Doombringer is going to get really big really fast, and there's very little control which Team Finland will have over him.
Where are they putting him, though? Because this looks to me more like it's going to be Batrider mid and then Doom safe lane.
Yeah.
They could have these heroes in any position.
Batrider mid? I throw Batrider off lane, Doom on the mid, Doom on the safe lane, and then
have
a
their
different
fifth as
mid. Right, there's no reason to put Batrider in the mid lane with this lineup.
Well, I just don't like Batrider up against Slark. Slark dominates that lane.
True, but your only other option then is pushing. Oh, you wouldn't want to Doom up against a Viper.
No,
that's horrendous.
That's why I'm wondering. Their fifth pick here really has to make sense.
And if Finland actually play it correctly, and they can scout this out early, they might be able to say, well, is it going to be Doom on a safe lane solo, and then they run Ogo, Rubik, and Murano, or someone like that aggressively? They think it's going to be a Naga Siren, and that's actually a Doom off-laner. Wait, no.
The thing is Bat off lane and Doom safe and then Naga mid?
I think it's a mess.
this is the trouble.
That's what it feels like. No matter how you look at it, the matchups always work better for Team Finland. Yeah, every matchup is better. You can't run a Doom off lane and he'll die. You can't run a Batrider off. It's a Centaur, so it's a safe lane Slark, and Anti-Mage is their final.
I'm pretty sure that's Bat mid.
If that's Bat mid,
Bingo is their off-lane player.
And Doombringer off lane, then your Doombringer is going to die time and time again, because you'll have to have a very defensive ward. In fact, I'm going to go straight to the point right now on the map where they must get a ward placed, and it is here. In fact, you actually look at the ping. Earthshake is pinging out right now exactly where he wants it to stop, and it's like, okay, so we'll ping this area is where he thinks the ward is probably going to be placed, and we think the ward would be placed roughly around there.
I think he just pinged on the map, so he wasn't pinging exactly where it was, he was just pinging in the area of the map. So.
Yeah, because it's what they need to see. You're going to run a Doombringer off lane, he's boots first, it doesn't mean jack. If that Fissure is able to get the block, and that's the primary thing, you need to get the Earthshaker up in the tree line over on the side here, and he blocks with this corner right here. And this goes straight across, which means when he has to walk back over, and if you even have a small gap, then the Earthshaker just starts body blocking him. And then you got Slark pounces, you got Witch Doctor bouncing casts, you got all this kind of stuff which would make it so impossible for a Doombringer to escape. A Batrider would stand a chance there, but the problem is, like, if he gets leashed, then his Firefly could be also wasted. He can get cast stunned. He could actually get follow-up stunned from the Earthshaker, and it wouldn't just be the Fissure that controls him. It's... I'm very, very concerned right now for Tunisia's lineup. The Anti-Mage might also come on too late. Wants to blink himself away, but you're going to have Centaur, Slark, Viper, the whole shebang just chasing him down. And stealing his essence as it all goes too. Jirax. It's the inch forward so we can put the Observer Ward probably here. He won't get much further than that. He's actually prepping the Fissure up against Jirax. Well, what he'd like to do is actually just block up this camp so the Batrider has no option B if he tries to fall off the lane. Because if they're actually going to try and jungle this Batrider from the very, very start, it's going to end badly. Because they just can't control their jungle. Jirax is going to back up. The telekinesis isn't in range. Ogumajai couldn't get in range for an ignite as well, so Finland will move back to their side. And it won't take a rocket scientist to work out. They think it's up on the cliff, but they couldn't actually. It's impossible to put the ward up on the cliff there because they couldn't reach the tree to break it. But a simple sentry ward at the back line here would still scatter it out.
And look where Doom's put his Observer. He gets to watch the rune, has a little bit of information when supports are moving in this direction.
The problem is that
this whole area here is dark.
It actually cripples him. And it cripples him primarily because he can't get a creep. He'll have to move himself all the way over to this camp to get a creep, or he grabs one from the small point here. So Devour is actually quite useless in the early stages. And even then, do you level up Devour as an offlane Doom with Boots first, or do you try and pick up Scorched Earth? The Witch Doctor is going to harass him out. We've seen this time and time again. The EU scene Bulba is one of the most proficient players at doing such a thing. And the Doombringer, because he's Boots first, so there's no Stout Shield, there's no armor, and he'll just get zoned out.
He needed to go Devour and literally just go over the creep wave, Devour a creep, and run.
Yep. And now, okay, is he bailing, or is he's looking to stack up Ancients? He won't reach it in time to actually stack the Ancients. And they missed it. Look at the line, like the circle's there. This is the line. It passes through part of the Observer Ward.
The model's bigger than the actual area it covers.
Yeah, which means Doom will walk up. That means they blew one of the sentries. Where's the second sentry? It still hasn't been placed yet. But if they do that, then the vision on the top lane remains true. Because there's this observer ward, which Finland, they actually placed last time they were up here on the main stage. And this just lets them watch whenever there's pull downs. They can see rotations, they can see runes. It's just a really solid ward. And it's one of those ones too where you put it as like a sentry ward up to try and de-ward what's up here, but it doesn't reach down to this ward down south. So it's one you can normally keep up. Nice little block. It's going to force the Firefly out in the mid. And there goes Batride's escape mechanism for 37 seconds. I think we're being really negative in this broadcast, but we're trying to see the positive side. Anyway, just farming, positive side.
Like positives. Oh wow, the crits on Witch Doctor Doom.
He got himself an Alpha Wolf.
Yep.
The lucky devil. Where did he grab that one from?
He went all the way up here, found it in the medium camp, which was stacked for him.
Okay.
And came back down to lane. 2 hits the Witch Doctor and takes him down to about 100 HP. I mean, the good side is they've got Doom for Slark, which really does shut him down, and I'm wondering if Slark goes for Midas just to keep up with the anti-mage.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can go, oh, misses the pounce.
Yeah, he needed that leash to really connect so they could turn onto the Doombringer and force out the Scorched Earth more than anything else. I'm really not sure about this min lane. Herbus is really low on his CS. When you have an Earthshaker babysitting you like this, you'd expect it to be just a little bit higher on the Viper.
That's because at the beginning, it's really hard as a Viper up against the Batrider who's spamming out Napalm. You want to sit in a position where you can, run forward, hit him a couple of times, run back, and then hit the creeps, and keep doing that motion over and over again, sort of around in a circle. But you can't when you've got Napalm on you, because you're so slow. Like, watch him now. He turns around. He goes back up to the ramp, realizes, I want to go for the last hit, and he goes back like this, and that's what's happening to him all the time. He can't sit in one position, because if he does, then the Batrider goes forward, hits him, gets loads of damage on him.
Mm-hmm.
But he also can't go back, so he wants to stay in experienced range and try and get last hits.
I'm interested to see also the build going to come from the Anti-Mage. I know we already saw one type of the build from the Anti-Mage today. We're having the Poor Man Shield option. But going up against Trixie, you don't need the Poor Man Shield. So would you just rush? You got boots, you got stout shield, you got quelling plate. That's enough for you to farm, that's enough for you to move freely. Don't need to complete the treads in this one, just go directly in for the Battle Fury. Before the treads are done, just pick up that Ring of Health and then get your damage dealing items and move from there. Would you go for that kind of build for Link in this game?
I think if you do, the supports have to start stacking the jungle at like 9 minutes, because you need a couple of stacks in the small and medium camps.
Oh,
but it's just not happening.
What are you supposed to do, man? Well, this observer ward is like in the perfect position just to screw with them so badly. And Ogre didn't buy Orb of Venom early on, so his harassment up against Trixie is actually quite poor. Because it would actually be really effective up against Trixie. To get in there, you throw the Ignite, you have the Orb of Venom kick in, and then have Anti-Mage blink in, burn off a little bit of mana. Even if he Hoof Stomps, it'll burn out all of the mana he's got. And then you're ahead. Rubik, Trixie, he runs west. The Observer was able to see Flash moving towards the high ground, but the Anti-Mage has no controllability over on him. So it was easy just to walk back up to the top. He didn't pick up the rune, so his trip was going to be useless anyway. That Anti-Mage is still doing really good. 28 for 14, 4 minutes in on the CS. Don't think he's missed much, if anything, at all on that top lane. Well, Slark still hasn't found that opening on the Doom. And he has to start doing it. Like, the Doom is funding levels. Farm is one thing, but actually having Doom is a bigger thing. And now this is what we're talking about. The Observer Ward for the Dire side. Oh, okay, well that fidget is a little bit off target. But the Leash will still be able to connect. He goes in for the Scorched Earth, has that War Stomp. And he'll just back himself up on that bottom lane. Was that him triggering the salve? No, it was the Clarity from the Earthshaker. My ears are deceiving me.
Oh, Jirax.
Oh, it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Well, he blocks his own teammates away from the Doom.
Now, Fissure, Leash, Doombringer, that bouncing cast gets to come again. It has to bounce back up, and there it is. First blood in the Doombringer on the off lane. The Witch Doctor will take it, and that gives him up to now almost 900 gold. Allowed to afford up boots as well as some new wards for his team. While up on top lane, they're thinking about going on Trixie, but you've got no boots on the Ogre or the Rubik. They can't get in range. They actually can't get in range to attack. And now Viper, okay, committal is fairly high. It's not enough damage to kill off the Batrider. And he couldn't dive deeper underneath that tower. But he's trying to force the Bat Rider to burn through all of his charges, but he's got bottle. So 6 minutes in, he'll grab the room and he'll be fine again. Unless this happens. Actually, that's killed.
No.
He did. The Viper actually took it solo before the Fissure would even arrive. So Bat Rider overextends himself.
And that's before the 6-minute rune as well. Viper going to go up to the top rune. Rubik is already there waiting, though.
He's able to pick up a haste rune too. Perfect for him. And the bottom rune is just going to be taken up, which is the bounty rune for the Earthshaker, pushing him over level 4. Interesting to see the Slarks build. Not a straight Blink Dagger. They're looking for the hit. The cask will slow him down for the Fissure, into the leash, and Doom. Again, it's into the War Stomp, but the Dark Pack damage will also help him 1 break free of the stun, 2 to the damage to the Doom. And it goes 3-0 in favor of Finstack. And, whoops, a little bit of a misclick there from the Viper. He bought 2 headdresses. But don't worry, Hopus, nobody saw it. Apart from us. Is this smoke movement time now? Man, that full mech is almost done. We're 6 minutes in. And he's got a headdress and the buckler over on this Viper with another 100 gold up his sleeve.
They completely bypassed that bottle. Sometimes you want to go that on the Viper, but since he's against Bat Rider, he gets the permanent regen, the flash regen from that magic stick, so it's just not necessary. So instead of spending, Stomp and double-edge Trixie, where are you? In the jungle. He's got a nice stack here.
He's just farming, man. He's just farming. He enjoys having no fun. We've got a movement coming out now from the Ogre Magi. Unfortunately for him, he's coming up to just look and see what's happening in the mid. While on bottom lane, paralyzing cask. There's no creep for it to bounce out to, but the Dark Pack damage again, there's not enough mana for a Shadow Dance. And they'll just start to back up. A little bit of harassment into Slark, but all he's got to do is just get out of vision and he'll regenerate perfectly. And Jirax again, he didn't move up fast enough. He needed to get there to get the Fissure off on the Bat Rider and give more time for Hopus to get the damage out. It just never came. And they really are just trying to flash farm the Centaur at the moment. So that's one way to keep the Viper going in mid too. Because he's not running a bottle, he's going directly for the mech. They get Arcane Roots already on the Earthshaker.
That's really good by Jirax.
Bat Rider. They need the stun. Can he get himself... There's no boots. He can't reach him. And now Viper, he doesn't have ultimate, but he knows the slow is enough to control the Ogre Magi, especially when... Okay, there's no paralyzing cast to throw out. The Lasso dragging the Viper back up again. He's got 10 stick charges, and now the Voodoo Restoration also trying to help him. He's moving towards the Ancients, but War Stomp inside the Doombringer. The attempted denial actually then means the Witch Doctor is too close. He got Telekinesis dragged back in. Now he'll try to deny himself up to a thing which is bigger than the Ancients, and that is Roshan. Turns around, the Bat Rider with the Flame Break will ensure the kill. And that means now it's 2 for a 0 trade-off. Getting Tunisia back inside this game. The Animage still farming up. But at the same time, I'm still also seeing Slark farming into. Please don't let this be.
I think Midas is the right choice. I said this during the draft, or just after the draft, that to keep up with Anti-Mage, after he gets Battle Fury, he needs the Midas. So he goes Treads Midas, Treads Ring Vacular to get more kill potential on the Doom, plus the Orb of Venom, then Midas, so he can get his Blink Dagger, and then his next item, which is probably going to be Skadi or Basher, faster than the Anti-Mage, can go Battle Fury, Manta Style, BKB Heart.
I can understand it from that point, but at the same time, with a Blink Dagger, you can start doing stuff like this, with just easy hunting of support heroes. Telekinesis pick up, means Jirax has to get himself far enough away. He doesn't have a follow-up stun to this. The Double Edge also not being used by Trixie, because he knew there could be some big follow-up damage. And the Witch Doctor was too late to join them on that top lane for the gank. But they can see blood there, but at the same time, Observer Ward, yeah, we're circling it. It's watching the positioning of Team Finland very, very closely. Sentry Ward drops, and this time, it's inside the model again, but it's in range for Team Finland.
How close are these Sentry Wards?
It's pretty damn close, man, ever since that range change. There's movement coming over now. They smoke, and it breaks on Rubik. They realize he's there. They do know the Witch Doctor is also there in position, but this just reveals the fact for Tunisia that they're being watched by an Observer Ward. And they threw their sentry down trying to find that aggressive Observer Ward, but it's just a little bit shallower. There's a bottom lane rotation coming in. It's Bat Rider with a haste rune. He's hoping to find the Slark, but he can't get the kill on Slark. It's just too difficult. Bounce stun. It's not going to go on any kind of bounce, but with a Fissure block, okay, not a perfect block. Blood's going to be picking up Trixie and throwing him to the other side. They actually can't reach him now. Nicely positioned. The Witch Doctor will drop. Trixie will look for the Hawk Stomp, but he needs to have both of them together to really make that worthwhile. Now he'll do it over on Link.
Jirax
Back in
finds
range of the
Rubik.
tower, and Jirax, yeah, fast moving. The Rubik, he only has basic boots, so he will go down. Solo kill for the Earthshaker, that's nice for him. That's still a really good pickup by the Rubik, because it was like the Fissure as well was meant to block out the rest of the Tunisia team, and then
Ended up blocking the entire Finnish team.
no. That's the beautiful thing about Rubik. He uses the environment perfectly. That's why I like him up against Clockwork, because he can use the cogs against him, against the Clockwork and the rest of his teammates.
Bat isn't too far from Blink. He's going to have that in about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, if he goes and farms the jungle. Because he's got one stack there. Oh, my
As
golems.
if he doesn't die right now, which he will. Viper, he's throwing the ultimate and slow him down. They'll dive in pretty deep. The bouncing's done. He's going to come back up the Fissure. It won't connect on the Rubik. You've just freshly TP'd in while Doom, the mech charge will trigger, bringing them back up at the life points very quickly. And he realized there was no real advantage to triggering his ultimate then. While on bottom lane, the Slark is taking the tier 1 tower. There's fortification to stop him, but at the same time, he just dive packs down the creep wave, and the catapult keeps going to work. And Tunisia does not want to rotate anybody down to try and deal with this. Like, they bring the Doombringer, but Doom, okay, he can't solo die to the Rubik. He also can't kill the Rubik, even if he does get his ulti off.
We are 850 gold away from Battle Fury on the anti-mage, though. That's only a couple of creep waves, plus farming the jungle. He'll have that at the 14-minute mark.
That's good timing. He got the battle. He did actually buy out Treads as well as the PMS. Trixie, yeah. Trixie. He's in trouble. Pick up, throw down to pull him back, stun him up. The Mana Void is available, and that will ensure the kill on Trixie. But the Fissure, he tries to turn double edges, and then the Echo Slam from Jirax, the bounce stun away. It goes over towards the Rubik and then back up. It hasn't connected on the Ogre Magi, but it comes back towards the Rubik. The damage isn't enough to bring down the Ogre. He's at 34 life points. Rubik caught in the corner. It'll be the Viper to get the kill, and the Lion's being drawn on Flash on 55 life points, hiding in the trees where HY says it's safe. But Link, he's farming next to the Observer Ward. Jirax, he's got Fissure up. He's going to throw it. He wants to have the paralyzing cast to follow up. Where's your Fissure? He blinks away in time. The Ogre will die behind the tier 1 tower. But that Witch Doctor was just too slow to the mark.
I was so sure Jirax would just send the Fissure across here onto the Ogre to secure that kill, and then maybe take the tier 1 tower. They almost find that kill on the anti-mage, though. How close is he to battle? He pretty much has it. 300 gold.
Yeah.
A couple more creep camps. He can't farm top safely now because Slark has joined the fray. Midas completed, and now, what is he, 1,600 gold away from Blink.
That's very close for him. And now Jirax, this Observer Ward's going to work overtime for him because it's watching what the anti-mage is doing, which is more important than anything right now. If Team Finland want to win this game, they restrict the anti-mage's farm. And it's not just by taking the tier 1 tower on the top lane, it's knowing what camp he's farming up, what life points does he add, so then Slark can be effective in moving around the map, trying to gank up. And then if they can, they get the kill or two, and take the tier 2 tower on the top lane, and then the only option for the anti-mage is either to risk his life by going into the dire jungle, or venture to the opposite side of the map, but they haven't brought down the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane to make that really an option for them. So Tunisia are getting backed into a corner, and they need to find a way to kick their way out.
All their eggs are in one basket, this anti-mage right now. Battle Fury completed, 14 minutes 20.
Oh, trouble for the Slark, and instantly into the Shadow Dance. So the gank, which was being prepped up with the Batrider as well as the Doom, will fail. And the Blink Dagger is now freshly arrived on Trixie. So the initiation is there for Team Finland. Before it is there, well, I suppose you do have the Blink Dagger on the Batrider. They're just got no way to get him back again until they have that Force stuff done. And I think Doombringer is also trying to build into a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it looks that way. I don't really see any other item he can go for. If he goes for Midas, I'll be really surprised. You know, 15 minutes into the game, he's had Devour. That 2,000 gold needs to be spent on a utility item, whether it be Blink or Mech. But I guess since he's gone Phase Boots and has a really awful mana pool, Mech really isn't an option anymore since the mana cost change.
Link has no idea that Jirax is just watching him like a hawk. While middle lane, there's 3 heroes moving up for this. Jirax, he'll need more help, and that's why Trixie's coming over. Center ulti, Fissure to start with, Hawk Stomp, they can follow with the Totem Stomp. Okay, you could just throw the Echo Slam as well, that'll do the job. Anti-Mage will drop, and Batrider moving over. He wants to get the lasso, Jirax has no mana. He can't even use his Arcane Boots right now. He's that low on mana. But you kill off the anti-mage. More importantly, you stop his time for farming.
Also, the ES nearly has Blink. 400 gold away, so they're going to have this double Blink initiation. Slark still saving up gold. Going to have another Midas use, and might go on the Doom here. It is Blink City.
Yeah, this is all about jumping in and getting the better initiation. If you're capable of doing such a thing, you'll take this game. And Slark, well, once he finishes up his Blink Dagger, sorry, it's actually, yeah, trip Blinks you're looking at. Well, nice little double damage rune on top river too. It's been picked up by the Viper, who's now 1,800 gold away from having his Aghanim Scepter. Bat Rider searching for an opening over on the Slark. Pounced himself away, cuts through the tree line, he blinks down, and he can't get the lasso. He actually wasn't able to get that lasso off, and now he's stuck in the tree line, going to TP himself out. If he did actually commit the lasso then, he would have revealed his position and couldn't have done what he just did, which was get away without dying. Trixie just able to get back to his farm as well on the top lane. It's probably not going to be long before he starts picking up that cloak. I'm building into... I'm going to just say it's just a basic headdress he would only need for this. Maybe we can just stop at the casual cloak.
He does really favor that hood though. Like he goes hood, never makes pipe, and then he goes into the next items, goes for a 4-staff or something along those lines. Maybe a blade mail.
It's just good regeneration more than anything else. I don't know if a blade mail will really be effective in this game. You kind of want to have also a little bit more life points up against that Doom. Like he's still, actually, it's a Doombringer running a level 3 Devour. Alright, you don't see that very often these days. It's just too easy to earn money. Now Blink Dagger and the leash perfectly onto the Bat Rider. He tries to flame break him back and then stuns. Centaur ulti will be triggered and the TP towards the mid will also be cancelled. And they know where the rest of the support is from Tunisia because they've still got this Observer Ward. Seeing absolutely everything. There's no way for Team Finland to move up anymore because the Observer Wards through the Diet jungle are just so heavily placed. They've got 4 wards watching their own jungle.
This is how important anti-mage's farm is.
And they didn't even see Trixie.
No.
They literally, okay, this ward just saw him move up and that allowed the blink away to safety. That's just Doom being quick on the fingers. And it was probably, like, you had a warning system which was the Witch Doctor walking over the Observer Ward. You know what we talked about as far as that option for Anti-Mage? He took it. He had to go bot lane.
There's really no other choice. I mean, they have put these Observer Wards to try and defend the jungle, but as you can see, Trixie just walks up there.
There's not much more you can do. There's a fresh Observer Ward now being placed. This should have been scouted out by Tunisia. Witch Doctor was coming in to commit towards that tier 1 tower in the mid. Well, Jirax sitting behind him, he's got Blink Dagger in 2 gold. Now, Fissure stops the Bat Ride from dragging away. Bounce Stun going to go into the creep, then instantly into the Death Ward. Rubik will get the pickup. He's only level 4.5, and they've already got the Stun over on the Bat Ride. The Doom be committed against the Viper, but do they have enough damage? The Echo Slam controlling the Doombringer, while you got the Slug picking up the Rubik at the back end of play. They move over, and that Doom is not enough damage. 3 for 0, they'll take the tier 1 tower. It'll be a trade-off for the Anti-Mage taking the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. But right now the kill potential is just through the roof for Team Finland. And there is little to nothing they can do to stop them.
Yeah, Witch Doctor is such a good hero up against Doom. That Voodoo Restoration, not even maxed out, it's level 1. It's still saving that Viper, allows him to get his mech off after the Doom's finished, heals everyone back up pretty much full.
And it's going to be worse too once that Viper is able to pick up the full Aghanim Scepter. So even more stat points coming in. Which means more life points. Trixie will defend the bottom tower, which is being pushed out by the AM. And it will be Team Finland backing off from that mid tower before it's within deny range. It's like, well, he knows the Anti-Mage will have to leave that bottom lane sometime soon. Starts farming up inside the Dark Jungle. They're restricting all the farm. Bat Rider, oh, this is a heavy commitment, but who's really going to follow him here? Like, he could go for the lasso, the Centaur ulti, Jirax, trying to actually play the fancy footwork with him. He still doesn't have a stomp. Now he's actually got enough mana, and he bought time for the Slark to move over. No leash, goes into the Shadow Dance. He can follow through with the Firefly, which now does wear off. But they're more worried about the support rotating up, but they know it's just the Doom and the Ogre. There's no reason why they can't just turn around and try and fight in this.
Yes, has limited mana. The Witch Doctor, half mana. Viper Strike. The Anti-Mage.
It actually connected, he didn't blink in time, but this is why I think they didn't have to worry about it, because the amount of damage that Slark is capable of achieving. Bat Rider bottles up the Dark Pact, he won't chase it any further. He backs up, but he keeps this now on. It was meant to be a smoke gank, but it's a defensive smoke maneuver from the Ogre as well as the Doom. And they're already at home and host. And there it is, as you said. Trixie prefers to buy the full Hood of Defiance.
Nice stack of entrants there for the Anti-Mage to take, though. Rubik is literally just giving away his time in this game to stack for the AM.
But how much is this hurting him? Look at this level. He's level 5 right now.
21 minutes into the game. I mean, I'm surprised he has boots.
And he's so far behind. Even the Ogre's far behind. Like, the Ogre might be flagging up as level 7, but he's 1/3 the way through that. And the lowest level over on Team Finland is Witch Doctor, who is only 201 points away from getting over up to level 9. They're really sacrificing themselves a lot for this. At least both Ogre and Rubik are going to be leeching some experience as Link takes up this stack. But I'm also looking at Doombringer on the bottom lane. They need Slark. Like, they actually can't kill him without like either Trixie, Viper, or Slark, who all three of them are now in that mid. And possibly even the best rune for the Slark has now arrived. Slark's going to get spotted out by the Observer Ward. Okay. I'm assuming misclick. But they definitely know there's an Observer Ward there. Bottom lane, there goes your Doombringer. Looks like they didn't need him at all. That was Echo Slam, that was Death Water, and the supports kill off the Doombringer. And with the double damage on the Viper, they'll now take the tier 2 down in the middle lane. They're down one core and the Anti-Mage is still not ready to fight. He's stunned up on the bottom lane trying to chase Jirax out. That Mana Void was never enough damage. He's only got a Stomp left. The Blink over, now he's got nothing left. Support is rotating over as the Viper with the DD rune. As they'll have themselves a quick pause. There's actually no way for Viper to get himself a proper kill now. Primarily because he'll have to walk over the top of the tree line and past the tier 2 tower in order to get in range of the Rubik before he gets back. And if he tries to run down south, he'll have to cut through the tree line. Actually, he should have just enough time to do that. But it'll be a little bit close. Alright, they just need a moment as Jirax is feeling a little bit wonky. So...
Am I allowed to go to the bathroom? Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. It's on the other side of the venue, but yeah, he could do that. I would tell him to run, but when you're feeling a little bit wonky, probably not the greatest thing in the world to do. So Jirax will have a moment. So really, just how effective... Okay. Trixie being the man to actually explain it a little bit more in detail. But yeah, as far as Team Finland go, you're looking at the Anti-Mage. He's massively farmed up right now. Do they still have enough to control him? Like, there's no Basher over on the Slark. There's no Abyssal Blade coming up just yet. Do they actually have enough that they can keep the Anti-Mage under wraps?
I don't think they really care. Because if you've got enough initiation to find the Batrider, Rubik, Doom, you can take them out of the fight and the rest fall like dominoes. Anti-Mage relies heavily on the Doom getting his ultimate off on Slark so they can kill him. Batrider trying to lasso the Viper so they can kill him. But if Finland are the ones initiating, which they really can do with triple Blink now, plus Witch Doctor Ward, plus Viper harassing and kiting people around, Anti-Mage is not going to have any targets to actually jump onto. So he's going to rely heavily on waiting for Finland to initiate, coming from the fog and jumping onto heroes like Witch Doctor or Earthshaker who are sitting behind waiting for their teammates to initiate, and then hoping that his teammates, the Batrider and Doom, can get their spells off. It's all very difficult.
It's very circumstantial as far as, like, if there is no vision, they can't get the positioning, they won't get the fight they need. But the same thing can... Actually, I don't even want to say the same thing we said for Team Finland, because that's the beauty of the Slark.
They go looking for fights, and they know where the vision is,
Yep, because the second Slark slows down, you're like, I can be seen here, boys. And it might be the reason to, like, I don't know if you freaked out and just triggered up the Shadow Dance. It's like, okay, boys, I think I'm about to get ganked. Yeah. And that's the reason why he did it, thinking the Doombringer would just jump him. But...
So I was wondering if he wanted to know if there was a sentry there as well, but then obviously you can't see Slark in Shadow Dance.
Yeah.
Stupid thoughts came into my head because I was trying to, explain what...
You're trying to justify the reason why you would actually use your ultimate.
But I couldn't.
And it's also like he 100% needed to have like life points. Like, he didn't need to have them either, so he didn't need to go fully out of vision for it or break free of anything. So yeah, I don't think we can really explain the reason why he did that, but at the end of the day, it's still, the Slark always will give you a vision advantage across the map, primarily because he's able to know when he's seen.
Rubik did actually manage to hit level 6 at some point. He's now sitting at level 7.
Yeah, that was when they were doing the Ancient stack. So he just sat next to it and then got a little bit of experience from the bottom lane while they were pushing too. So he's literally babysitting the animate at the moment. Just sitting there going, telekinesis if someone jumps you. That's all he's going to do. But telekinesis is really, really quick. So when Centaur blinks in, you'll have that fraction of a moment. If you're in range and you're very much aware of it, you could actually grab him before he's able to get that stomp off. And then anything is really possible for the Rubik. But we haven't seen him steal anything yet. Considering we already had a very, very good example of a Rubik earlier today, Blood's got a lot to live up to if he's going to attempt to do that as well.
Yeah, but you mentioned earlier on in the draft, what does he steal? If he goes for the Viper Strike, he puts it on Slark and he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Because there's Stampede. Well, he puts it on any hero, then there's Stampede, there's Blink Daggers.
Yeah. It is like, yeah, what do you really do? There's wonderful abilities to steal, but in this case, it's just not as effective.
No.
So, no. Anyway, it looks like Durex will need a little bit longer than just a couple of minutes, so we'll have ourselves a short break, and we'll come back here to the main stage after Durex has composed himself. Anyway, it looks like Durex will need a little bit longer than just a couple of minutes, so we'll have ourselves a short break, and we'll come back here to the main stage after Durex has composed himself. Welcome back, everybody. We said a short break as we went to the break. Jerks came back onto the main stage. The players are good to go. And Trixie, yes, you can hit that start button and get underway back into the game we had. So we are 22 and a half minutes in. It is 13-5. And Blood, welcome back to the game. They did just walk around the tree line, pick up a kill on him, and Anti-Mage trying to go west where the skies are blue. I don't know if he's going to get that far, however. He just leaves an illusion behind to make sure Witch Doctor's going to have no mana up against him. So 14-5, Durka. We're back in again. And the question which was posed before we went to the break, is Anti-Mage going to be enough? Are there too many eggs in this basket?
I think it's really difficult for him, and like you said, it's very situational where he's going to make an impact. He needs a couple more items, but the time it takes him to get his next two big items, Slark and Viper and Centaur, are all farming. The grip on this map is really strong from Team Finland. it doesn't really show it. They've got no observer wards up at all. It's all defensive wards from Team Tunisia, but they don't need it because Team Finland are going looking for these team fights. They're running down lanes, finding pickoffs. They're not scared of Batrider or Doom because they use their spells on one hero, two heroes, and the rest of Finland come in like an angry swarm with Earthshaker jumping in, Echo slamming you, Viper with his ultimate slowing you down and kiting you. There's really no way Team Tunisia can hold off against this absolutely dominating performance.
The other major problem is going to be the timing right now of when Finland go for a gank. Now, they see Viper just running himself up towards this top, but these obs are going to time out in 30 seconds to a minute. And they've only got one observer ward that can replace this. Now, Doom, it's over on the Viper. Okay, that's a little problematic. The Central is being used, but Viper will not escape from this one, but they are definitely running themselves up.
The Swarm was a little bit too far away, but they do catch up. Can they find a pick
Yeah,
up
they
before
found
the
Link.
TP?
They found the anti-mage, the bounce stun, the malediction, the death ward will be dropped. Link will actually get himself away, but not far enough. The Wish Doctor malediction was there. And of course, actually, the attack from the death ward, good blink away by the Doombringer, able to escape the leash of Slark. You see now aggressive warding being placed, and they've only got one observer ward. There's 5 minutes on cooldown before the next observer wards can be purchased by Tunisia.
If Team Finland hadn't spent an extra, 3 or 4 seconds on this mid lane, farming that last wave of creeps, and did move up with the Viper, sure, he had a haste rune and he was really far ahead, but if they had followed him up there, that could have been an absolute wipe.
And I'm actually not so sure about this Skadi coming up on the Slark.
Do you think Abyssal will be better?
Yeah, even just the Basher first. Like, you don't need the full Abyssal. Just the chance for the extra lockdown control. I think the reason why he wants to do it is because it's just good stats to survive the Doom.
Yeah.
And the Doom isn't building an Aghanim Scepter, so the increase in damage isn't really enough to it's not enough to scare you at the moment. Now, they've really got to get rid of this Observer Ward. Echo Slam, it's initiation right now over on that poor little Batrider, and then the Fissure follow-up. They pick up the Rubik, the Doombringer will jump in, gets a double War Stomp, he's 7 seconds away from his ultimate. He doesn't have it available, and then Viper, he's 3 seconds away from his, he might throw it over towards the Ogre Magi if they can reach him. It's a double kill for the Witch Doctor. The Death Ward does the work against the Doombringer. You still got Slark farming at the bottom lane, but they're about to get the tier 2 tower at the top lane as well. So that injection of money will bring him close to the second ulti orb, which in fact means you'll have your Skadi by 27 minutes in this game for the Slark.
Yeah, that's really quick. And what? Oh, Anti-Major blinks into the Slug pretty much. Do they try and fight it up here?
Slark doesn't want a bar of this at all. He doesn't have his ultimate available. He's only got Dark Pack support. It's actually coming in right now, Witch Doctor. He can only actually lend a paralyzing cask, but that's not enough to really stop Link. And he might think with the 3 points up in the Mana Void, it could have been enough damage to kill off the Slark, but it's not. He'll need a lot more than that. Nice little steal for the Rubik, but again, it's Viper Strike.
What's your next go-to item as the Anti-Mage? He's got Bounty Fury Manta, so he's got that nice attack speed, cleave, which has been helping him farm. Do you go for a Basher yourself and try and lock down one of these heroes? Do you go Heart, Butterfly, BKB?
A Heart would probably be nicer if you can just get yourself back and away from the fight, but that'll require the rest of your team to be able to tank up for a little bit longer.
Which just isn't happening.
Yeah, it won't happen at all. I don't know if you can go in for... a Butterfly doesn't even really help you either. Like, there'll be some points of evasion there.
It helps against the Slark and the Viper, but
Yeah.
I think BKB is the one where he can actually fight, because at some point in the next, 5 or 6 minutes, Team Finland are going to start pushing up.
The problem then is, like, your physical DPS. If you get that Viper Strike out in the Anti-Mage, you'll still have the Death Ward doing the proper damage to you, and that's 200 gold away from having the Aghanims on the Witch Doctor. And now, well, Fissure being dropped out, Link being locked in, and a nice blink over from Jirax. And you see where he's moving to. The center ulti will go so he can blink in 2 seconds' time and chase Link up. But, yeah, Blood was coming down. They didn't follow up. They have no vision up there whatsoever. And you actually see this is where Tunisia are putting all their wards now. There's 2 wards watching on bottom lane. They have no idea what's happening inside their own jungle. He went Butterfly. He actually did go for the evasion.
I don't think it's the wrong choice, because it's like making the best of a bad situation. He needs something to stop Slark stealing all of his stats. Oh boy.
Oh, Batrider. Oh, Batrider. He knew he was in trouble. He knew he was in trouble. There was only 2 ways that was going to end. Bad and badly. So they go 19-6 on the board. Middle lane's being pressured up. Fortification still available. An Echo Slam dropped by Jirax. The pickup would be there from Blood, but now he's in trouble. Still never got the ulti off. The Doom being used on the Earthshaker. He's already triggered his abilities. And the Death Ward helps to pick up the Doombringer. They got 3 heroes down. 21-6. Things are just falling apart.
But you see that, what I'm talking about when they swarm, they're up top lane, they go back down towards here, Jirax jumps in, and then all of a sudden the entire team of Finstack on the top of these 2 heroes.
Yeah, and that was also with the double damage rune of the Slark in the middle of that engagement.
Roshan time or tier 2 time?
Tier 2 time. The most important thing about the map right now for Finland is they know when Tunisia leave their base. If they know that, they're good. If they know where Animage is farming, they're good. Every other hero which Tunisia have are food to this lineup of Team Finland. I don't think they really even care about what the Animage does because they know that their lockdown control is enough to hold the Animage in position until he actually had a BKB. Because he went Butterfly, they don't care about that anymore. All they need is the hoofs. They need Jirax to jump in, or they get Trixie's hoof stomp.
Did we see the Aghanims for Witch Doctor?
Yeah, that was. He was 200 gold away before they went for the gank just then. Jirax. He's going to keep Link on this top lane. TP's coming in, jumps up, denies the tower. No money for you, as Link blinks himself down. They did actually start going on Roshan, but they don't have enough heroes there anymore. And now they go on the bottom lane. 4 staff down for the Batrider. His Firefly was still on cooldown. Now the Viper Strike. Okay, there's no running away from this. Double Edge as well. They get through the Batrider. 55-second window now being open for Team Finland.
And you see here, the anti-mage, this is what I was talking about. He finishes the Butterfly, and he's the one hero in Tunisia who's getting farm and getting items. But at the same time, Viper, 4,200 gold. The Slark finishes Skadi and is well on his way to the next item, which we hope is Basher. It's just not fast enough. Like, he's farming well, he's being pretty efficient. He's dodging all these gangs and getting Manta off, escaping from Slark, manning up when he needs to.
But he doesn't hold the map control. He doesn't control them. He doesn't control the heroes of Team Finland. The Animage is he's useful in his mind because he's farming, and all Animages are very happy with that. But Team Finland, Tunisia can't fight until that BKB is up on the Animage. It's just that simple. He's great for farming and great for split pushing. The Doombringer might get a great Doom off on the Slark, but you got more problems coming out from the rest of Team Finland. I think the major damage dealer in most of the last engagements has actually been the Witch Doctor, and that's without the Aghanim's upgrade. So you're going to have all these problems in the world coming your way.
And we haven't actually seen a 5v5 team fight.
No. It's been like just a couple of quick, easy pickoffs at the start. The BKB is now there for the Doombringer, and they actually have no choice. They need to come out and fight right now. Roshan is still not dead just yet, but the Slark illusions scout out the fact that Tunisia are coming down. They got one in the bottom lane. They see the Batrider flying through, and they just Centaur Stampede back. But there's no reason not to fight. The Observe Ward's up on the high grounds. They know exactly if they were going to initiate or not, which they didn't. And the Stampede was the only thing being used. 45 seconds on cooldown. All they got to do is just push the mid lane down, chip away a little bit. They got to wait for, 2 creep waves and that ulti's back up. That ulti's up again. In fact, are they looking for the Animage? He's already up on the top. I'm going to pick up a TP scroll. It's on cooldown for 16 seconds. They actually had a window to get in then, with the Animage on the wrong side of the map and no way to get home.
I was thinking there they'd clear the jungle, push top lane, and that forces the anti-mage to go across the map again, waste his time even more. But I guess you're right, go straight up onto tier 3.
It's just a better position to breach high ground right now, and they would have enough confidence to do such a thing. 6 seconds until Stampede's back off cooldown. Just with the Aegis Immortal on a Slark, he's already difficult enough to kill as it is. Animage going to take that tier 2 tower, and well, right now, it's the Viper who comes back to defend it. And they TP into the tier 2 tower. Jirax, Fissure, he got him! He actually stopped the Animage. There's no blink back, he'll blink up, and then the Slark's just like, sweet! Let's hold him there. Trix is on the way in. 4 staff into the hoof stomp with a double edge. The paralyzing cast is going to be even more effective because he used the Manta Star to start with. The Animage is down, and this is an open ticket to go straight up the mid. And go for the GE. Oh, Batrider blinks himself away. Blood's pretty close as well. Blink Dagger in 4 seconds time. The Fissure coming out. I don't know if that was actually from the Earthshaker trying to reach the Rubik. And now the leech is on him. They're going to be down to 3 heroes here. This is disastrous and will spell the death of that tier 3 tower mid. There's buyback for the Animage. That's the only way they'll hold this high ground. Both Rubik and Animage have buyback.
That was really close from the Rubik. Huge telekinesis, but just as Dark Pact, procced at the very end, so the lift never actually happened.
Beautiful initiation. Absolutely superb. From Fraggy and Trixie, they combo together. Now the Batarang on the sideline, there's no control. Fortification will be used. The Centaur actually dies a full Lincoln Sphere, which is coming out, but they move over. They find the Doombringer, and then a Hop Stop actually stops Okamajai from really doing much more. The Animage brought back, but he's got no control heroes anymore.
AM buys back, but now he's alone, and like I said, he relies so heavily on Doom and Batrider using their spells to lock down 2 while he can focus the others.
Yeah. The buyback just comes too late. Now, they're trying to actually bring down the illusions without losing too much mana. And they'll be successful at doing so. And then the tier 3 tower. Start with the range racks. It's the one they know they can secure before the Batrider and the Ogre is back up again. They're actually not focusing at racks. Fissure connects over on the Rubik. Animage getting 4-staffed up. Actually, Jirax 4-staffed him in then to his own stun. The bounce will keep Link out. Trixie missing his hoof stomp. Will actually end up having that stolen, but doesn't think Viper's not caring about that at all. His damage is nice, but he's out of mana. Lassoed up, flashes in the neighborhood. They use the mana void to kill him off. But it's a mid-ranks going down. The buyback came from the Animage anyway, and the Fissure will hold all these meatly heroes inside the Dire base. The Batrider will try and chase down. Jirax almost bumping up on top of the cliffside. Link will not be able to catch up to Trixie, and he actually can't even catch up to Jirax either. They've both got Blink Dagger 4-staffs. Maneuverability is just too high on Team Finland.
I was really expecting the turn there from Finland, back out of the base and then go back in with the Witch Doctor ulti, but Echo Slam was still on cooldown for a good 10-15 seconds.
And they had no mana on Slark. He was just bone dry.
Yeah, Slark was already well on his way down to the bot lane to finish, continue farming. 5.6k gold on him.
He could just go to straight Abyssal. Wolf Stomp over on Link. This is just Trixie harassing him. Nothing more than that. Try to make a Link think twice about coming up here. And Trixie knows there's no one else there. You got Ogre as well as Doom showing themselves in the mid lane. You got Batrider who's farming underneath the Observer Ward of the Radiant side, which has been there for such a long time now.
Is Jirax making Hex? Voidstone and 3,000 gold. Like, I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, that'll work. He's got a huge amount of money, so it works. Speaking of huge amount of money, Viper, full Butterfly now done.
They're all just straight up buying items. They made up such a bank there. I mean, the Viper and the Centaurs were walking up to that tier 3 with a good 4,000 gold each. We saw the Centaur pick up the Lincolns. Viper managed to finish off Butterfly.
Jirax? He bought a Monkey King bar over on the Slark.
Refresher Echo Slam.
No.
He's not making Orchid.
That's true. Maybe he's just realizing all I need to do is hold them. If I hold them, we win. That's the goal right now. Find an opening. You got Link farming up inside the jungle. You got 2 heroes in the bottom lane, which were, I don't know, they weren't spotted out by this Observer Ward, but this Observer Ward's watching Link move back on the top. And he moved, no. Trixie, they thought for a moment that Trixie was playing next level mind games. He's initiated twice onto the Animage with no support. And the Animage has been like, why am I still scared about this? Turns around for a fraction of a second thinking maybe I can go on Trixie. Well, that's not the case. Middle lane flashes out too far. Even if they can't find, well, who do they want? The Fisher's on the Batrider. And they go middle lane. It's the Okamajai. Trixie jumps up. The TP support's coming back from the Doom, instantly blinks away to safety. And Link's being watched by the Observer Ward. So they know he's not there to help out the rest of his team. Okamajai. Still no buyback. The Fissure connects over on Blood, and Viper just commits Rubik. What he'd give for a Ghost Scepter right now. Blink in, but the Echo Slam stops the pull out from the Batrider, and he just ticks out. The Doombringer will jump in, but who's he meant to doom? The War Stomp hits no one, and the Death Ward just starts going to work from the Witch Doctor. The Batrider will buy back Link. They cannot keep him controlled long enough, but they came here for objective-based gaming, and that's why the Tier 3 tower will be dropped. And then directly into the melee ranks as well, and Fraggy. He got in deep enough. There goes your Batrider. 80 seconds on the sideline. And this could almost just be the GG. They can go for the Tier 4 towers, or they can go for Mega Creeps. Both options are 100% fine here.
Dominant series from Team Finland, playing their own style of Dota, playing aggressively but defensively when they need to. They knew the Anti-Mage was the only hope for Team Tunisia, so they've played aggressively on the other heroes, the Doom and the Batrider, not giving them an inch. And look at this, Fraggy just jumping in at will. AM picks up his BKB, but it's a good 10 minutes late.
Oh, Link. Commitment high. BKB can be freshly used. And now you'll start to see the physical DPS. He at least ends Witch Doctor's killing spree. That's the word. But they still get lose bottom lane. Mana Voice down. Batrider's not there. No controls there. Sure, Witch Doctor, he won't be there for his Death Wall when it comes off cooldown in 12 seconds time. But the Doombringer jumps in. Nice Wall Stomp. Fissure, though, just stops him. So quick, and the Lincoln Sphere, it's just able to be triggered onto any person they want to, so even triggering the Doom is a problem, and keeping Blood alive is a bigger problem. This poor Rubik, he's going to go 0 for 10. The Animage is on the run at 5-3. The Fissure will lock him, and then boom, boom, boom. That's it. GG. GG. Team Finland will eliminate Tunisia. And that is just almost too easy for him. A very quick 2-0. It did still take about 40 minutes for each of the games. But Finland with a very commanding performance. So, with that victory, we do actually have Team Finland moving themselves through. They will get to have themselves a bit of a sleep tonight before they face China in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals. First game of the day tomorrow. So, they're going to need all the sleep they can get. Then again, Newbie have been a little bit unsettled as far as their game goes, and I'm looking forward to seeing a strong Finland up against a strong China tomorrow. We do, of course, have more matches going on. The other game, the third matchup, is already being started down inside the pit. We have the Russians. In fact, I can see them standing next to the stage. They're getting ready for their game, and when Cap is ready, okay, it's Cap, give a wave, man. Give a wave. Are you good? I see the thumbs coming up. So we'll throw out the Cap on the stage with the winners of the quarterfinal.
That's right. I'm here with Team Finland. Trixie is going to be the one. I'm going to be interviewing most of the questions here for you. But I want to start out. First of all, congratulations. It seems like your confidence was very well placed up against Team Tunisia.
Yeah, I mean, kind of went as expected, I guess. Don't want to sound too...
Well, I
guess, but, you know, I mean, the games went our way. I mean, some mistakes in both of the games was still inexperienced. But, yeah, it's going to be the tough match next game, though, so...
All right, I'm going to give you an opportunity to maybe, this is just my personal look on the game, but I felt like that maybe the that you guys had was actually the draft. I feel like both games, the draft was going your way. Would you agree? What would you say your biggest strength was in those two games?
Yeah, I mean, I think our Jerax is a really good drafter, and it's kind of like bringing us up on the top tier in this tournament right here. So yeah, I feel like we're getting I feel like we're good that we have Jerax with us.
Now, my next question, I'm actually going to hop over to Fraggy here because the game one, right? You were playing the Medusa, you farmed brilliantly. I have to say, like, that was like one of the highest GPM Medusas I've seen. I want to give you a quick question, though, about the Blink Dagger. We haven't seen that too often. Let's just give me your thoughts on why you chose that item.
Well, I have been trying it out on Public a lot. I feel like it's the best item on Medusa. For after Lincoln or Manta or whatever. It's really good for the fights and farming, of course.
Well, I'd love to see it, man. It was a bit of innovation. I've only seen that maybe once before. Very rarely have I seen that, so that was you played very well in both games. And last question, I'm going to go back to Trixie here. I got to end this on kind of a sobering note here, Trixie. Tomorrow, we made it through the quarterfinals. Tomorrow, we have the semifinals up against Team Newbie. You nervous? Do you have a plan? What is it?
I mean, we have a plan, of course, but you know, I don't think we're nervous because we're gonna be the heavy underdogs, so we don't have pressure on us. I think Newbie hasn't really. They've lost games that they shouldn't have. Let's put it this way.
They looked a little shaky there in that first game up against MVP Phoenix, right?
Yeah, and then they lost to Meepo as well. So I think. They might be a bit shaky as well, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, I like the confidence. Well, guys, we're going to be taking a break here. Team Finland are going to be moving on to tomorrow's semifinals. Next up, though, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be having Team Romania facing up against Team Russia. Stick around.